So what if you could retire like decades early? In this explainer, we're going to break down the powerful strategy from the book Set for Life that shows you exactly how to reach financial independence and, more importantly, buy back your own time. All right, let's kick things off with the single most important number for this entire journey, $25,000. Now, this isn't the finish line, not by a long shot. Think of it as the launch pad. And I'm not going to lie, getting to this number is going to be the hardest part of the entire process. This is what we call your financial runway. It's the foundation that makes every single step we're about to cover even possible. So here's the game plan. We'll break this down into 5 parts. First, we'll redefine the whole path to freedom. Then, we'll get into the weeds on how to grind for that first 25K. After that, we'll show you how to use it, how to build passive income, and finally, we'll talk about the one big choice that changes everything. First up, let's get on the same page about the philosophy here. This is not about working a 9-to-5 until you're 65. No way. This is about front-loading all the efforts so you can buy back your time way, way sooner. This quote just completely flips how you should think about saving. I mean, think about it, right? Every dollar you earn gets a slice taken out for taxes, but a dollar you save, that's a full dollar that stays in your pocket. Early on, this super simple math makes saving money way more powerful than trying to earn more. Okay, so how do you actually start? Well, phase 1 is about one thing and one thing only, aggressively building that first financial runway. And this is where the strategy gets pretty extreme. You can forget all that standard advice about saving 10 or 15% of your income. To get this done fast, the target is saving between 50 and 75%. Yeah, you heard me right. It's a totally radical shift in your priorities. So you're probably wondering, how on earth is a 50% savings rate even possible? Well, you get there by completely ignoring the small stuff. It's not about skipping the lattes. The real progress, the huge wins, come from attacking the big 3. That's housing, transportation, and food, which, as you can see, is where pretty much all of our money goes anyway. This means you gotta make some big strategic cuts. We're talking about getting roommates to slash your housing bill, buying a reliable used car with cash to get rid of that monthly payment, learning how to actually cook. See, these aren't just little tweaks. These are absolute game changers that will supercharge your savings. So here's your playbook, a clear 3-step ladder. First, build a tiny emergency fund, maybe $1,000 or $2, just so a flat tire doesn't wreck your whole plan. Second, you have to destroy, and I mean destroy, all your high-interest debt, like credit cards. Then third, you just go all in, full throttle, saving everything you can until you hit that $25,000 runway. Now, depending on how crazy you go, this can take anywhere from 1 to 5 years. So you did it. You put in the hard work, you built your runway, now what? Well, that brings us to phase 2. What does that 25 grand actually unlock for you? This is a really critical mental shift. That 25K isn't just a safety net, it's launch capital. It's the money that buys you the freedom to take smart, calculated risks that can completely change the entire trajectory of your life. And you've basically got 2 main paths you can take. You can take a calculated career risk. That might mean leaving a stable job for one with more upside, like sales, or even starting your own business. Or you can take the path the author did, the house hack. So what in the world is a house hack? It's actually a brilliant strategy. You buy a multifamily property, like a duplex, you live in one of the units yourself, and then you have your tenants' rent pay your entire mortgage. You essentially get to live for free. And this is exactly what makes it a wealth-building machine. It works for you in 3 ways, all at the same time. You get monthly cash flow, you build equity in an asset that someone else is paying for, and you get the benefit from long-term appreciation as the property value goes up. It's a win-win-win. All right, let's move on to the final phase, the end game. This is where you take that foundation you built and turn it into a system that sets you free for good. Now, this requires one last major mindset shift. The goal isn't to save some huge nest egg of millions and millions of dollars. No, it's actually much simpler. You just need to build passive income streams that cover your monthly expenses. That's it. That's the whole game. You can do this a few different ways. You can keep buying rental properties, you could start a business, or you could simply invest in broad market index funds. The second your passive income from these things covers your cost of living, you're done. You are, by definition, financially independent. You no longer have to work for money. Which brings us to the very end of the path. All of this, everything we've talked about, it all comes down to one simple but really profound choice that only you can make. And this is where you have to redefine what risk means. We think of extreme saving or buying real estate as risky, but the author makes a powerful point. Doing nothing, that carries a 100% risk that you'll be working until you're 65. The status quo is the biggest gamble of all. So this is the real trade-off right here. The risk of action means a few years of intense sacrifice for a potential lifetime of freedom. The risk of inaction means no sacrifice right now, but it comes with the guarantee that you'll be trading your time for money for the next 40 years. The path laid out here is a proven one. It definitely requires discipline and a willingness to be different, but it offers a prize that very few people ever get to achieve. So the only question left is, which risk are you willing to take?